Hey guys, in this video I'm going to take this 2001 PW80 and fit 2024 TTR110 plastics on it. I'm going to cut off the old subframe and rebuild a new one, new tank mounts, new fender mounts, and anything else that we need to build to fit the 2024 plastics. I'm going to start with the tank mount. So I made a cardboard template and traced that on my sheet metal. So I'm going to cut that sheet metal out and drill my holes, and then I got the bend line there as well. So here's the two brackets that I've got so far. I was wanting to use these isolator grommets, but I'm going to go ahead and get these bent and installed on the bike. This is my first time making a video where I'm showing what I'm doing, so it's hard for me to keep up with all the steps that I'm supposed to be videotaping myself. Anyways, I got the subframe off, and so now I am connecting the seat and the side pan, the number plates, and the rear fender. That way I can connect, when I put the gas tank on, I can slide the seat in and it'll kind of tell me where where the rear subframe is supposed to be. That'll give me an idea. Then I can start cutting and bending the tubes for the rear subframe. Right now, I have the seat just painted. I got some blue tape and I taped it on the front and centered it up. I measured and marked my centers and then measured them up on the other side. And then I measured the distance between the seat bracket bolt and the rear fender bolt. And I'm about to cut out some little brackets, just temporary, just to hold the rear fender to the seat and the number plates. So when I mount it on the gas tank, it'll give me an idea of where I need to be. Some temporary little brackets for that. got these temporary tank brackets that I started to make, and I originally had these rubber isolator grommets on here, but the way that I had them, they were a little too long, so I cut them off and just re-drilled a hole for an M6, because where I had it, whenever I was turning, I had way too big of a gap between the triple clamp, the front of the triple clamp, and the tank right here. Eventually I'm going to remake these with these isolator grommets, but I'm going to remake them where I have some more room. But now I'm going to mount the tank, and then I'm going to try fitting on the rear fender and the rear plastics. Test fit this rear plastic assembly. Okay, this will give you kind of an idea of how it'll set. I went ahead and put the fairing on real quick just to get an idea. So now I'll come down, and where the old subframe connected right in here, I will start building. I'll be able to measure, because I don't have a TTR110 here to measure off of. So now I can kind of use this mock-up to start measuring and see where my tubes need to go and where my bends need to go. And I have some pictures of a TTR110 that I'm using to kind of go off of to get the idea, but this will let me get an actual number on the distance I need of tubing and where it goes and whatnot. Alright, so this is what I've got for the top part of the subframe. I got two little 25-degree bends here with a little taper cut on the end. I'm going to take this one here and notch it and have some support in between here, and then just tack it, because I think that'll help me get it fitted on the bike in the right place. Alright, so I wasn't able to video while I was welding this because I needed 10 arms to hold it all together, but I just tacked it in place for now. Kind of got an idea of where the rear subframe is going to be. I got to do some more measurements, and I'm about to put the plastics back together and try them back on and see kind of where it sets, and then I can cut the tacks and adjust if I need to. Alright, this is what I've gotten so far. I'm test fitting the plastics. I still have the rear fender being held on by that little temporary thing, but you can see up under here we got the top of the subframe just about where it needs to be. It could go up maybe 1 millimeter, and then I got the cross support right on where the spot on the seat is, have a little extra support for it, I guess. But since it needs to go up about 1 millimeter, I'm just gonna use the bottom part of the subframe to push it up just a hair before I fully weld up here or anywhere else for that matters. Alright, well, I gotta take a few steps back. This bar here for the seat support I had to cut that tack weld loose, but I actually forgot to put on the TTR110 frames. It has a little bend right here, and then it has a hoop that comes right here for supporting the very end of the back fender there. Well, I forgot to put the little bends right here, so I'm going to break these tack welds one at a time and put that little bend in there. I've got the back of them with a little bend right here and right here. I got all this tacked on. It's not fully welded yet, These will probably get trimmed just a hair, and then I'm going to bend a piece to go between the two with a little bit of an arc in it to kind of fit. I'm going to fit it to the underside of the back fender to give that a little bit of support. Right now, what I'm working on are these little I guess your triangulation pieces that go up and support the back of the subframe. I'm going to put a little bend in them, a little 15-degree bend is what I'm thinking. Towards the end of the video, when I get it all kind of put together where I have something to show you off of, I will tell you all the bend radiuses that I did, the length of stuff, and that way if you decide to do something like this to your PW80, you'll have a little bit to go off of, because I'm just shooting in the dark here, trying to figure out. I have to do a lot of putting the plastics on, a lot of pulling them off and measuring, and that's kind of how I'm doing it. But at the end, I'll try to include some measurements and some angles and whatnot. So after a bunch of trial and error, I don't have a tube notcher, so I'm doing all this with an angle grinder. I was able to get this piece to fit just like I want it to. It has a, I think it was about a 10-degree, maybe 11-degree bend in it, and I notched the bottom, and then I notched the top as well, and that's going to go in there like that. And this one wasn't too bad, but trying to duplicate this exactly for the other side is what I'm having some trouble with, but I think I figured it out now. So what I did is I took a little sticky note and wrapped it around the end of the tubing, and then I took a chainsaw file and used that to trim the paper, just going around filing it. And then I marked the center of the back there with that little dot, and then I did the same thing on this one, on that side, and then when you wrap this on that one, it'll give you the same cut. You wrap that around there and mark it, and I have the same little notch area. It'll focus. The same notch that I'll follow with just an angle grinder, and then I'll turn around and do the same thing on this end. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. That way I can get it edited and uploaded. This will be the first video on my channel. Hopefully more to come. We'll see how it goes. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments and I'll try to answer them. I appreciate y'all watching, and part 2 will be coming up soon.